The aim of the Touch and Rice podcast is to spread fun in the touch football community. We talk a little bit of touch footy chat, but mostly play games and throw some banter. Hosts Cess and Kimmy would like to pay respects to the traditional owners of the land on which we meet.
My name is Geordie Skiing, and I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we meet here today. Today we're meeting in Meanjin, and those traditional owners are the Yagara and Turrbal people. And I'd also like to pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging, and acknowledge my people, the Gubbi Gubbi people, and extend that acknowledgement to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people listening in today.
Mabu, hi Kimmy.
Let's
And hello to Shanks and our special guest all the way over from Switzerland, Micha. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All the way over from Switzerland. So the background story around that, and Mike, you'll know this because I got introduced to Tom. We were watching the men's opens and men's women's, and I think even probably the mixed before that, the sequence of finals at the Touch World Cup. And Tom happened to be there, and we got into conversation about touch in general, which was really cool aspect of Touch World Cup, as you all would know, you were all there, being able to mix and network and just talk to people from different corners of the world about touch. So we're fortunate enough to converse with Tom and told him that we were running a podcast and put us in touch with yourself, Micha, to talk Touch Switzerland. So thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, and it's really an honor. And my first time appearing in a sports or in any podcast. In the World Cup already a few months back. What an experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we'll touch on that. We'll jump straight into our first section of our podcast, which is the set of six touch questions or touch-related touch questions for you. And we will get into the Touch World Cup. Rewind, sorry, before we jump into the set of six, a bit of a brag sheet for yourself that you sent through, a bit of your touch background. So you've been part of a Swiss Men's Open champions team that were champions in 2020 and 2021. You participated in the EFTCP. I might get you to tell us what that is in 2017. I'm not familiar with that acronym. Euros 2018 and 2022 you participated in. Obviously the Touch World Cup we just talked about more recently. And second place in Barcelona with the Banditos.
Yeah, Banditos.
So what was the EFTCP?
Just when I started with touch rugby, like a year later, that was a format from Touch Europe, which was a permit. It was the second time, I think, because previously there was the Mainland Cup, where only like the mainland Europe countries took place. That's like before my time in touch. So that was the last time it was held, actually, the permit. There was something similar in 2019 in Elche in Spain, but like it's not the official Euros with FIT. I think there's some political stuff going on between Touch Europe, EFT, and FIT due to finances, but don't quote me on that.
Yeah, we try to steer clear from politics as much as possible on the podcast.
It's like it was held or ruled as a Euros, but I don't think the caps count.
Gotcha. Okay. That probably leads in nicely to our set of six, our first official segment for the podcast, Micha. So
I want to add one thing to the brag sheet. I'm part of the Galaxies from the Swiss Galaxy team. And that's the only sponsored team in Switzerland. And that was also a major point, and I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, tell us about the Galaxy team.
It's just a Galaxy team as you have them. They're founded in New Zealand and developed all around the world, and it's the only sponsored team I know from in like mainland Europe, but maybe there is another. But for sure in Switzerland, and we feel like really professional when we can go and have a rock with this team. We get paid and everything's organized. And for us, coming from an amateur sports, it's sports background. You feel really professional when you don't have to pay for your own flights. And we just go to club tournaments, and we plan on next year, but we don't have a calendar yet.
Gotcha. Kimmy, I know you're jumping in the bit to ask a question around the sponsorship side of things and getting selected for a team like that?
I'm just wondering if there's a spot open up in the Galaxy team here. That sounds awesome. I had no idea that it was, you guys will all the teams will look
We have
after
an
you.
awesome team manager.
Yeah, is that just, do you know if that's like all of the Galaxy teams? They all fall
I have
underneath
no
the same
clue.
umbrella?
I just know about ours.
Interesting. Let's jump into the set of six, Micah, while we're talking about your touch accolades. Let's rewind to your touch origin story. How did you get started and what's your background in touch football?
Oh, wait, okay. I went to the Euro Bowl, which is my uncle was coaching a defense coordinator, and that's American football in Europe, and they won it 2012. And then I wanted to play American football, but it's like a niche sport as rugby. So there wasn't a club nearby, but there was a rugby club. So I went to a training and got addicted with it. Played then my whole junior years, and then started by side playing touch rugby. Well, in the podcast you don't see me, but I'm not wide shoulders, heavy muscle guy. So my body started complaining with union, and then I switched to touch rugby because I'm pretty fast and really like the mentality of the sport and stick to it and gave everything into it. And then, of course, you start the sport and it is a niche. You're confronted with, hey, you're good. You could play in the national team, and well, you always saw like soccer national team. Soccer is big in Switzerland, ice hockey, and you always dream of being part of a squad like that. And then you get the opportunity to play in a national team. And with that mentality, I stuck with the sport.
So tell us about playing touch in Switzerland. What does that look like for? We have no idea what that looks like, or anyone else around the world that
Maybe Touch Switzerland has as many players in the country you've got in one team, well, in one club. It's like a meetup with family and friends. We have a Swiss championship, which actually at the moment my team is leading, dethroning Bern, which has been quite of an impressive thing. But we always meet friends there. At the moment it's organized 4 tournaments all over Switzerland, but Switzerland is really tiny compared to any other country outside of Europe or Australia. So it's most we drive is like 2 hours, and then we meet our friends, have a tournament, get our 120 minutes game time, and at the end of the year you get your reward or your placement. But it's really cool. The standard is from many beginners to nearly elite level, I would say. You have some teams that really can push themselves, but as I said, it's a niche sport. It gets more recognition, especially with the sevens category getting Olympic. But it's still touch rugby. I never heard of that. So acquiring new player is kind of difficult. It's a slow but steady process. So I would say the best way to describe Touch Switzerland is it's a big family that comes together 4 times a year and competes in these championships.
Excellent. It's a nice way to build it. It's a nice way to start. Question 3 for you. Tell us about your lead up to the Touch World Cup. What did that look like in terms of selection, competition for spots, training, and then getting there? I guess it's not such a long way for you guys to travel as it was for us, but what did that process look like?
Well, there were 2 processes actually. We knew that this World Cup was coming, and I knew 4 years in advance that we gonna send a team, or we knew, and I want to be part of that team. So we started training. We had some different coaches, which was a challenging part. And I personally couldn't take part in the last Euros. 2023 due to work reasons, but I saw how they prepare and I tried to adapt. We had a training program which meant 3 times a week for 1 hour, just fitness and running sessions, skill sessions. Then you have 2 times clubs training, and once a month we had a national training. We had the coach from Australia, Hoops, coming, helping us in the clubs, providing fundamental skill sets for newer players, and then helped us grow as a national team. We had some injuries which we couldn't, or some couldn't fit the footsteps from those who were injured, which we realized at the World Cup. But for me personally, I reduced my work. I did not work 100%. I got off work 20% and had a full day just preparing for this World Cup. So was kind of feeling really professional there.
Probably 2 parts to question 4 for you, Micah. So the connection to Hoops, the Australian coach, and one of our friends, Shanks and Kimmy, Pia has been coached by Hoops in Brisbane Cobras, I think at NTLs for a number of campaigns. How did that come about? And then part 4B, I guess, tell us about the Mixed Opens campaign for Switzerland. How did that go for people that weren't following?
Well, the Mixed Open campaign came from a men's open perspective. We had previously played men's open, or some of us, and then most of them ruined or getting older and went to a men 30s squad, or even now discussing about men 35. We then looked at the option to have a mixed open, and as we all in the clubs, we only placed mixed. We were looking forward to that. And also, there's only a certain amount of slots for each player, and they get, like in a full team in men's open, you had 16. Now you divide that by nearly half for the men, which made it a pretty harsh environment, but not between the player, but everybody knew it's going to be a hard fight. It's not just, are you available, which has been in the previous years. It has been a fight to get into the squad. And also mentally, give everything, show your best. I think that was new for many players, including me. It wasn't a secured spot. It was not secured till a week prior to the World Cup. And that was a new experience. And what was the second question?
The connection to Hoops. So how did that come about?
I think one of the coaches from Switzerland, the women's 27 coach, knew Hoops and asked him if he would like to come for the Euros. And at the Euros, this team played really well. And then they asked him if he would like to coach the World Cup for Switzerland. And I'm not sure where we stand now. He's back in Australia, and I haven't heard anything from our team manager yet, how we continue this journey.
Yeah, excellent. The campaign itself. So, did you / the rest of the team / Hoops see it as a success, the Mixed Open campaign for 2024?
To be honest, I think most of us, including Hoops, expected more. We had the Hoops side, we had the group or the pool of death, because we had 8 as the only group in the group stage, and also pretty competitive opponents. So we were a bit frustrated also with our injuries from our strike players. We were really good in defense, midfield, attack, but we lacked a bit of structure at the attack in line attack. So we were a bit frustrated, but we as individuals grew so much with his coaching that it's still a big win for us. And we also gave some like Papua New Guinea. The team arrived late and got excluded from the tournament, but we still played them, and that's an awesome experience to play a team from the other side of the world, and gave them a hard run.
Hmm.
So
What was the score in that game, Micah? Or what was the result, or roughly?
I think we lost by 2, but I'm not sure. But they gave us the feedback that we were because they only played against the bottom ones from the other groups, including us. They said we were the hardest one that they actually had to run against us. So that was a compliment I personally really took to my heart, that we gave them a hard run. And we also lost some games in our group just by slight, like by a few points or even 1 point. I'm not sure. I don't have the scores in my head anymore.
Well, it sounds like a decent campaign, and certainly you can hold your heads up high with the PNG result, because I know that obviously a lot of people in the touch world would know they had some politics behind their journey to get to the World Cup. But I think most people would have expected them to feature pretty prominently in the finals. So for Touch Switzerland to push them is a really good achievement, and probably puts you in a good position going forward that you can build on that. Question number 5 for you. If there was, and this is a bit of a different one, but if there was one particular skill that Micah, you were known for, whether in Switzerland or in Europe or even on the world stage, what would you like that to be if you could pick anything at all?
I don't need to have that skill right now.
No, you don't. You don't.
And
You can already have it,
scanning.
or something you would like to have, or even something that you probably are a long way off. So for example, if it's a left to right long ball, or if it's a quickie step back, or if it's just pure speed, what's a touch attribute that you would like to be known for?
I would like to be known for being able to scan it and see the right option at the line attack setup. That would be my goal, to be known for, oh, this guy always makes the right decision and sees where to pass to, or sees when not to pass when no option is available. That would be really cool. I still have, one of my bigger construction sites, to be better at overviewing the game as it flows into attack.
Good answer. I think a lot of people are working towards that anyway. Question number 6 for you, last question for the set of 6. Where to next for Micah? You personally, and then where to next for Switzerland Touch?
We just waiting for, within these few days coming, we hope to receive confirmation if we send a team to the next Euros, which will be held next year in Vichy in France. I hope that I can be part of that team. So touch-wise, I'm aiming towards that, and also into our own club, which I'm president of, to grow touch in Switzerland, to have decent structure. And if we're not sending a team to the Euros, I want to go with the Galaxy team to the NTS tournaments in England. And personally, I'm trying to implement touch rugby in my work. I'm working as a primary school teacher, and surprisingly, they really like throwing an oval ball instead of kicking the normal soccer ball. So I'm working on that for me.
Grassroots development, it's key, and you're probably not probably, I think you're in a great position to really grow the sport from that perspective. There seems to be a lot of teachers in the touch community over here in Australia, both at a primary and secondary school level, so they can selfishly push it out in their schools, and it certainly I think it shows when you look at the junior, all the junior grades, when you come over, if you were to ever come over to Australia, just the amount of participation in touch football, because it is a relatively safe sport, easy access, pretty low cost entry point, so it's pretty appealing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep. So all the best in that endeavor. That finishes up the set of 6 and pretty much all of this. Yes, Kimmy. Jump in.
I'm butting in. What would be a really fun fact, and this is probably more so to see if TFA can supply this fact, is how many of the participants, so not just players, but coaches, referees, are school teachers? Because I would be surprised if it was anything. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised, is what I meant to say, if it was close to like, at least 25%.
I would guess so. In Switzerland, definitely it's around 25%. And then also doctors. We have some doctors, like medical doctors.
The reason why we're pointing on teachers is because if you can implement a program in a school, but if you don't have someone who's passionate about that sport or about that subject to actually deliver the program, it doesn't really get traction. So when you've got teachers who are participating, whether it's elite or not, but they're participating in that sport, delivering it to that grassroots is where it's essential for that to grow in your community. So the fact that you're a primary school teacher is a great example of how it starts. So if you've got someone like yourself, loves the sport, participates, has access to whether it's the World Cup, Galaxy Touch, hoops, whoever it is, for you to be able to do that, that's just the stepping stone in the right direction for Swiss Touch to actually take off, hopefully, to the goals that you guys have got in place. So they're really important. So I don't know if you've got like other teachers, you should bring them down to your social touch comp and get them involved as well, because the more of you out there, the better.
Exactly.
There were 3 in our Aussie men's 40s team that were teachers. So that's probably reflective of most of the Aussie squads. I would imagine head coach and two, maybe even 3 players off the top of my head. So yeah, it's certainly worthwhile exploring. Micah, thank you very much for participating in the set of 6. As I quickly mentioned, that's all of the serious touch stuff over and done with. Now we'll get into the next segment, which is Kimmy's Corner.
All right, so I actually completely forgot about this section. I was just concentrating on the games. And then anyway, I've got something lined up for you. It's quite fun. It's just a this or that. So I've picked 20 questions. I'm going to give you 2 options and you're going to tell me which one you would prefer. This is just to get to know you a little bit more on just on a social level, okay? So first question, shopping online or in store?
Online.
Wow, that was quick.
I hate shopping at stores, except for skiing gear.
I don't know anyone that goes in store anymore. Shanks, do you go in store?
Nah, I'm online all day.
Yeah.
It's dangerous, isn't it? Because how often do you shop online and then it doesn't arrive straight away, right? So then all of a sudden you come home and there's a package and you're like, when did I get that? I fall into that trap all the time. Anyways, all right, next one. All caps or lowercase?
Lowercase.
Does that include the first letter of the sentence, or would you put a caps?
Yeah, I really like the English way of handling that, because in German, in the German writing, we have all the nouns are with first capital letter. So
there you
it's more hard for the children to learn. So I'd rather go with all small letters.
All right, next one, tattoos or piercings?
Tattoos.
Do you have any?
I have a phoenix on my back.
Oh, do we want to show and tell? I'll tell you what. Oh, here we go. Wow, that's huge.
Oh, nice. That is big.
Wowee. If you're listening and you're not on YouTube, you're going to have to go to YouTube.
When I'm teaching swimming lessons with my kids, I've got a new class, they don't know it yet, but the reaction is always the same. Whoa, he got a tattoo!
That's not just a tattoo. That's massive.
That's half your back. It's huge.
That's my tattoo. Heaps of little ones. Anyways, all right, next one. Outdoor dining or indoor dining?
Depends on the season. I hate mosquitoes.
Let's talk about like a nice spring, so it's not completely hot and
outdoor. I'm going with outdoor then.
Yeah, great. Plants or pets?
At the moment, plants, but in the future, hopefully pets.
Are you good at keeping your plants alive?
Yeah, we got 24 at the moment. We counted them yesterday. Funny.
Is this in your house or in your classroom?
In the house, well, in the apartment. The classroom is a bit different because they either die from dehydration or get like floods, mini floods, because all the children want to keep them alive and pour in not like well too much water in.
Yeah, they drown them. Yeah.
Yeah,
AirPods or wire headphones?
AirPods.
I'm usually AirPods, but we're struggling today. Long socks or no-show socks?
No show sucks.
I've never understood. Is this for touch as well? Would you like? Did you?
Actually, yes, but we were forced to have long socks because it suits better the uniform. So we were white knee-high socks.
Wow, knee high. That's
Knee
that's
Yes.
high.
Well, not above the knee, it just ended below the knee. Wow.
That's
It
yeah.
was a new experience. It wasn't that bad as I expected it, but the tan line now ended on the shorts and yeah, it's just white, brown, white.
So you basically got tanned like a knee brace
Yeah,
looking tan.
exactly.
I'll have to look up a photo for that one for our socials. General admission or assigned seats?
Assigned seats.
I agree. Bus or train?
Train, I think, because it takes you further. It's mostly the aircon is working in Switzerland, so I go with trains.
Interesting. Here, I feel like you'd go a train because there's no traffic. That's for me anyway. I'm in Sydney. Sydney's traffic is horrendous. So a bus, even though there are bus lanes, it still seems to be quicker to take a train. Ice water or room temperature water?
Oh, ice water. I don't know who drinks room temperature water.
I know
Sorry if I offend
weirdos.
anyone.
I know plenty of weirdos that go room temperature. I'm ice water as well. Window seat or aisle?
Depends on the length of or the duration of the flight, but normally window seat.
I'm just a window seat full stop. There's something about having access to lineage and then also just the window.
Normally I book the window seat and then my girlfriend claims it.
Classic. All right, skinny French fries or thick cut fries?
Skinny French fries or even better, sweet potato fries.
Health. Pepsi or Coke?
Coke.
Is anyone here Pepsi? I feel like one of you boys.
I prefer Pepsi over Coke.
All right.
Wow.
Moving on. Cardio or weights? Weightlifting.
Cardio. I rather run a marathon than doing weights.
Really?
Yeah, I'm on the distance of a half marathon and I want to do the marathon soon. So cardio.
If you had asked me that question before about if there was something that you wish you had like for touch that you'd be known for, it'd probably be my ability to not sub. An ability to not sub. So just to be able to be like that Duracell bunny that can just keep on running and running. Because right now, if I was to play not on the wing, if I was to play middle or link, you'd be seeing me come off after one set. I'd love to be able to last a full game. Anyway, good for you. Have you got any marathons coming up?
Not yet. I didn't book any because I prepared fully for the World Cup. But my backup plan, if I would not make the team, is to go and run a marathon. I would love to run the Jungfrau Marathon because it's the view from this marathon is just, I think, the most beautiful one you could run. It's you run from Interlaken to the second stop from all the way from to the Jungfrau region. If you have the chance to ever be in Switzerland, you have to see those mountains and the glaciers.
Well, Cess and I have actually both been to Switzerland separately, not together, but we were talking about it on one of the podcasts. And yeah, it's a living postcard. It is like one of those once in a lifetimes. I definitely could not afford to go there every year, but yeah, it's one of my favorite places to visit. So I know exactly what you're
Really
talking
beautiful
about.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the place for me, my favorite place when I visited Europe, and exactly what Kimmy said. That's how I described it to people when I went to Interlaken. Was just postcard. I went for a hike, a little bit of a run, certainly not as far as you, Micah, like to run, but I was just taking photos, and it was just, and this was before, iPhones and Androids. This was on the old whatever normal cameras, and even then, it was just amazing.
Awesome that you both have been here.
Yeah.
Kimmy, you have been to Interlaken too?
Didn't stay. So I was in Zurich for one day, and then went to our first stop was Lauterbrunnen. So we're there for 2
Oh
nights.
yeah, Lauterbrunnen. Yeah, that's the marathon. When with the entrance of the valley, the marathon goes left, and you go straight to Lauterbrunnen.
There you go. But the place we stayed in was like ordinary, but you opened up the balcony doors, and the waterfall was right there. It was insane. It's actually insane.
Awesome. Yeah, that's where the marathon happens.
Yeah.
And with this scenic view. And I always listen to podcasts. Now I can, if you produce enough material, can listen now to a touch podcast, which is really cool because I didn't knew any touch podcast prior to this invite.
Well, there you go. We are trying to get people from all across the world, so it's not just going to be Aussie based. But yeah, I think we've had so far. Who have we had? We've had yourself. We've had Meng from China, and then Fuzi from England.
And B from the Philippines. Fun fact before we move on from our visit to Switzerland, I still have, and I can't remember how much I spent, but just because I was in Switzerland, I still have a watch that I bought from a local store there, and I still have a Swiss Army knife that I bought over there somewhere in a box.
How much was the watch, Cess?
Yeah, it was a lot. It was well more than I should have spent.
And why is it in a box? Why are you not wearing it?
I just don't want it to break. I don't want to scratch it. That's why I don't wear it.
So you bought it to keep in a box.
Yeah. Yep. Maybe I'll wear it next time I go. So I don't know. I just bought it because I was there and I wanted a souvenir, and it's still going. Like I pull it out every now and then, and it's still ticking along. I don't think I've ever I've changed the battery once, but again, then I didn't wear it, and it's probably run out now. But yeah,
I find it really interesting that when you spend money on like really high-priced item things, you tend to not wear it so much because you don't want to ruin it or break it. And then when you buy something cheap, you wear it all the time. So my advice would be to start wearing that bloody watch.
The watch is appreciated in value? No, probably not. I'll just pass it down.
If it's one of those watches, I've met someone recently that actually her partner travels to England to buy watches to collect to sell in the future.
Yeah, right. Well, I certainly didn't do it that way. But anyway, too much watch chat. But
anyway,
just a little fun fact.
All right, I've got five more to go. 6. All right, next one: jog or hike. This is a good one for you.
Oh, that's hard. If you're not in the mountains, jog. If you're in the mountains, hike.
But if you could only pick one, if you were to wake up and it's like you had to pick one, would you?
Hike.
Yeah. You're so lucky you've got all those amazing hikes basically at your doorstep. Insane. All right. Being on time or being late?
Being on time. I'm Swiss. I like watches.
Good
Good
callback.
answer. Yep.
And I'm on top, I'm a teacher and I hate when my kids are late. So
yeah, true. I'm trying like heaps more to be more on time. I find the older I get, the more I just don't care about things. And I'm like, oh, I'll get there when I get there. But yeah, I hate it when people are running really late. Cooking or takeout?
takeout.
Is anyone here a cooker?
I like to cook. And I'm also cost of living. I'm a bit of a tight ass, so it annoys me how expensive things are these days. So I would prefer to cook than eat out.
I've started getting into those like the pre-made meals.
That's what I do, Kimmy.
Yeah.
I can cook, but it's just very convenient.
And it's actually not that expensive if you buy them like in bulk as
No.
well. Chuck them in the freezer. Anyway, healthy ones. Sleep in or stay up?
Damn, that's a hard one. Sleep in, because I certainly love sleeping in more than staying up. But that's a hard one. No, I stay with sleep in. Sleep in.
Yeah. And whilst we're on that, left or right side of the bed?
Whichever side is next to the window.
Is that like a
Left side
superstition
then.
thing? Or is that
Left
just
side
for, like,
at the moment.
at the moment? Is that for superstition or is that just because of easy
'Cause
access to an escape or?
it's just because it's so hot sometimes, and I really like the nightly breeze.
It's funny. It's
So I
funny.
can regulate it, because if my better half lies next to the window, it stays closed because she's freezing. So I'm
So-
melting next to her.
I feel like after this, you should ask your better half. Most women would answer whichever side is furthest away from the door. So if there was an intruder, their partner is the first one to intercept.
Oh, I'm gonna ask her that, because she's now lying next or closer to the door, because I prefer the window side. Because if the window's open and there's a breeze, she's freezing.
There you go. It's an interesting question, but the answers are always like for yours, obviously, because it's too hot. But for a lot of my friends, I'll say whichever one's furthest away from the door. All right, last question: past or future?
Future.
Anyone else want to answer?
Well,
that
I don't
one?
know actually why. It's just future. I teach like 11 years old, just coming into puberty, and I definitely don't want to go back there. So definitely future.
Anyone else?
It's a hard one, because what if there isn't a future?
Now we're getting deep.
Too deep for me. I think the past. I'd like to rewind. Now that I'm getting a bit older, I'd like to rewind the years where I could sleep in pre-kids and I was a little bit faster on the touch field.
Do you feel like it would also be fun to go back and kind of take opportunities, like missed opportunities? And you kind of like I think when we're all quite young, you take everything for granted and you kind of just go, oh yeah, I can do it another time or whatever. And then the older and older you get, you're like, oh, that opportunity kind of sailed.
100%.
It'd be different if we were in a different, like if we grew up in a different generation as well. Like, for example, right now you have a look at, I don't know if it's the same in Switzerland, but here women's sport has just like taken off. So the opportunity that young female athletes have right now is completely different to when I was just out of school and high school. And I guess the same thing also even for men's sport, just the pay packets that are coming in as well. So it would have been interesting to kind of see if we had those same opportunities growing up. In saying that though, we didn't have social media, so life was good.
It's true.
True that.
So you got to take it. Anyway, that's the end of my this or that segment.
Well done, Kimmy. Well done, Micah. Now we're on to the next part of our podcast, which are the games. Shanks, score update.
It looks like it's 5-all.
5-all.
Yes,
Thank you
yes.
very much.
Yep.
All tied up. So,
Yep.
Micah, for you and for any new listeners to the podcast, we have a couple of games. We're keeping a tally because of the end of the season, whenever that is. We still have to decide when that is. The loser of these games are going to have to jump out of a plane and skydive. And Micah, really fitting that you're on actually, because Kimmy and I both had the opportunity, again, independently when we were in Switzerland to skydive, and for different reasons weren't able to do it. So it just adds a little bit more fear factor and a little bit more competition into these games. And you'll be playing head to head tonight with myself. And how we came to that is on the back of the question that I asked you, would you prefer Lindt or Toblerone? And you, of course, said your preference would be
Toblerone.
Toblerone.
Well, let's hear my teammate because she's working at Lindt.
Okay, we'll keep that quiet. Don't show this podcast. So I picked Toblerone, so that's why you're versing me. And Kimmy, by default, could not pick Toblerone because
I'm allergic to the nuts.
Which I didn't know about either. So that was really interesting. So what that means, Micah, for the games, you'll be playing head to head against me, and Kimmy is running them. So best of luck.
So no pressure.
Thanks.
You're playing for me here. So I hope I've picked the right the right games. So we'll see how we go. All right, the first games that we're going to play, it's called the 5-second rule. You guys heard of this?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
So the way it works, I'm going to give you a topic. So it'll say you have to name 3 things, and I'll extend the sentence. Timmy's gone. And then you've got 5 seconds from when I ask the question to give me those 3 things.
Okay.
Because it's a high pressure situation, sometimes you will blank. You'll think, when you're watching someone else play or listening to someone else play, you think, that's just so easy, and you come up with it. But when you're put on the spot, it's a bit different.
Yeah, I've seen these videos.
Yeah.
Okay,
Made
I know.
popular by on the Ellen DeGeneres show, I think, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
She's played this a few times with her guests. So, all right. So who would like to go first?
Guest first. Marky, you're up.
First, okay.
All right. Here
We've
we
got
go.
a referee too, Shanks.
Shanks, can you time for me, please?
5 seconds.
5 seconds.
Yeah. So you'll have to come up with an artificial buzzer too, Shanks, when time's up. You're our buzzer.
When do I start it? As soon as you finish the question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
It's just going to be when the
Can I
buzzer
just
goes
hear
off.
Can I hear the buzzer? What's the buzzer?
Eh.
Excellent.
All right. Here we go. The first one is name 3 kitchen appliances.
Damn, that's hard because it's in English. My mother tongue is German, and I have to translate everything. I was like, easy in German. And I was like, damn, what are the names in English?
Extra layer of difficulty. I like it. That's good for me.
Dang it.
I do it in English, and you have to do it in German.
I don't even know German.
Well, I'm running the game. Maybe that's a good rule. No, I'm joking. All right, Cess, which one am I going to give you? All right, here we go. Ready? Name 3 activities you have never tried.
Skydiving, bungee jumping, scuba diving.
Ooh, plenty of time left.
Shanks, can you keep score as well, please?
Oh, okay. Hang on.
It's 1-0.
To Cess, of course.
All right. Are we ready? Next one.
Yes.
Name 3 things you don't understand.
German grammar, French grammar,
Bam.
law for France.
Ooh, two of 3, I think. Shanks, you're the ref.
I'm going to give it to him because
I was too late. The last one was
it's a
too late.
mouthful to say all 3 of those things within 5 seconds.
He's given him the point.
I'll give him the point.
All right.
Oh,
Thanks, Shanks.
how generous.
All right. Next one. Cess. Name 3 ways the world could end.
Meteor, tsunami, and zombie attack.
Yeah, got it.
Don't rule it out.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Pretty hard to be hit by a tsunami in Switzerland, to be fair.
True.
Have you seen what's that movie?
2012?
Is it tomorrow?
Day after tomorrow.
Yeah, the day after
Day
tomorrow.
after.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That was a big ass tsunami. All right.
But that one was in New York, I think.
Yeah.
It was in America.
Yeah. Still, tsunami is usually caused by an earthquake, and then all these other things. Yeah. Okay. All right. Cess.
No marker now.
It's my turn.
All right. Here we go. Ready?
Yep.
Name 3 things that make you happy.
My girlfriend, my parents' dogs, food.
Well done.
Perfect.
He's getting better. Look, we're getting quick here. All right.
Score
Cess.
update. It's 2-2.
Cess, you're 1 question behind as well. Here we go. You ready? Name 3 animals that lay eggs.
Duck, chicken, crocodile.
Oh, very nice.
Very nice.
That was so rogue. I feel like crocodile. I could have picked something easier,
Could
surely.
have just said,
Emu.
Platypus.
wow.
Do platypus
Is it?
lay eggs?
They do.
Yes.
Where am I up to? Okay, here we go. Name 3 fictional characters you would date.
Captain America, even though he's male, I know. Captain Marvel
Bam.
and Spider-Woman.
You didn't have to justify
I
it.
know.
I would
Yeah.
have.
Just keep
I
going
was like,
with
just name them.
you justify at the end of it.
Yeah, exactly. And
All
no
right.
judgment, no judgment at all.
None
You
whatsoever.
didn't even have to justify that, I don't think.
All right, here we go. Where are we going? All right, Cess. Name 3 people you never want to see naked.
Shanks, Micah, Kimmy.
I knew you were going to do that.
Oh,
Damn it.
Sorry, guys.
easy one.
Why did I give you that one?
layup.
Yeah. Here we go. Name 3 things that smell good.
Cologne, fresh barbecue, bread.
Nice.
Very nice.
Good
All right.
answers.
What's the
Great
score
answers.
update?
It is 4-3 to Cess.
All right, Cess, if you get this one, it's game over. All right, here we go. No, I've got to do it. Name 3 small creatures that people are afraid of.
Spiders, snakes. Oh,
Bam.
damn it. I was going to say ants, but people aren't scared of ants. That would
No.
that would not have counted.
I thought for sure you just would have named like anything in the outback.
I blanked. Name of the game. I just blanked.
You could have actually just said like a dog as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Small dog.
I just got stuck on, when you say an answer and you're like, no, I got stuck on ants. Fear of ants, it's a thing, surely, but I didn't say it. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Still in it, Micah.
Here we go.
Let's go.
Name 3 destinations for a holiday.
Bangkok, Hanoi, and Shanghai.
Spot on.
Okay. Again, Cess. Is it evens now?
It is evens.
Yeah, and you're 1 question behind. So
Yeah.
if you get this one, it's a win. All right. Name 3 types of cuisines.
Thai, Chinese, Indian.
Oh,
Very
Well
Asian
done.
orientated,
made
but
it easy.
yeah.
And that's the
Is
end
there
of game
an
1.
Australian? Are there any Australian dishes? Or are they all like in Switzerland we only have a few like traditional Swiss ones. But are there any?
Debatable. Like you could say fish and chips, but then you'd get the Kiwis and you'd get the British claiming that fish and chips is their dish. And then we've got the pavlova. Is the pavlova from Australia or is it from New Zealand? But other than that, I don't think there's anything typically that you would be like, that's Australian. Australian just seems to be like a fusion of a whole bunch of different types of cuisines, I think.
Yeah, I think if you said we're going to have an Aussie, we've actually got the firm that I work with. We've got some, funnily enough, people coming over from the Philippines that work virtually for us that we outsource to, and we're putting on an Aussie lunch for them, and it really is just it's a barbecue, typical barbecue with sausages and some steaks and Vegemite sandwiches and whatever. So yeah. Would that be accurate, guys? Do you think if we were going to have an Aussie meal, it'd be a barbecue?
Yeah, barbecue. I was thinking like bangers and mash.
But again,
like-
bangers
British.
and mash is British. So that's
Yeah.
the thing. Like, you wouldn't really say it's a cuisine, but like an Aussie feed would be like a pub feed. You'd have a chicken schnitzel, not Australian. Schnitzel's from somewhere in Europe, probably. Is it German?
I think it's-
Yeah.
No, it's Wiener Schnitzel. It's most likely Austrian.
Ah, okay.
Chicken schnitzel. And then you've got the
And you don't call it a schnitzel.
Well, then you've got the chicken parmigiana, which is a schnitzel with the tomato sauce and cheese on top.
Yeah.
And then you've got your steak and veg, fish and chips, spag bowl,
Meat pie.
meat
Yeah.
pie.
Anyway, to answer your question, probably not really.
Okay, interesting.
Probably Vegemite on toast would be the one. Anyways. Where are we up to? Next game. Okay, I think I may have just like shot myself in the foot because we're going into lyrics of English songs.
Oh, damn. I'm so bad at them.
You just have to name the song.
I'm not. Is it okay? I'm not fantastic with songs either, so we'll see how we go.
I'm going to just start reading out the lyrics. I'm not going to sing them for you. I'm just going to read it out line by line. And the way it's going to
Oh,
work,
I was scared of this one. I was like everything beside lyrics because I listened to I think the last one where they had to call and read out the lyrics. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, maybe that could work, but not guessing lyrics.
so it's gonna be a flow on from that. I've got some song lyrics in front of me, and I'm just gonna try and read them out without any sort of indication of the tune. And I'm gonna go sentence by sentence. So you guys are gonna have to come up with a buzzer each, and whoever buzzes in first gets to guess. Now the catch is, if you guess is wrong, the other person can listen to the rest of the lyrics before they guess.
Okay.
Okay.
So if you want to buzz in early, you better know it. Because if you guess wrong, the other person can just keep on going.
Right. Okay.
All right.
What are you going, Micah? What's your buzzer?
My buzzer is
Okay, I'm gonna just because we watched The Lion King today with my kids, and I was also watching the Brisbane Lions play their elimination final before this, so mine's gonna be rah.
Was that a ra or a
That was
la?
that was a rah.
Okay. Here we go. The first song. Now I'm not going to start from the start. I'm just going to go into a verse. So here we go. Are you both ready? Okay.
just a question. Interpret or the name of the song is both correct? Or it has to be the name of the song?
The name of the song.
Okay.
I'm not going to I won't make you name the artist, just the name of the song.
Cool.
All right. First one. So here's a story from A to Z. You want to get with me? You got to listen carefully.
Rah. Wannabe Spice Girls.
Yeah.
You know what? With the first line, I was thinking Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking about the same.
Yeah.
I was the same. I was like, what? Let's wait.
I was like, what the hell is the name of that song? Yeah.
All right, next song. Here we go. I hope you guys like the same sort of music I do. All right, here we go. An old man turned 98. He won the lottery and died the next day.
I know it.
It's a black fly in your Chardonnay.
Rah. Ironic. Alanis Morissette.
Oh, I have no clue.
Oh, okay.
It's a black fly. Yeah. Got it. Thanks, Kimmy.
Yeah.
2-zip, Shanks.
All right. Here we go.
Was that the first one?
2.
Here we go. Thinking hard whether or not I skip this one and come back to it. Trying to vibe out what type of music you like, Micah. All right, here we go. My tea's gone cold. I'm wondering why I got out of bed at all. The morning rain clouds up my window and I can't see at all. And even if I could, it'd all be grey. But your picture on my wall, it reminds me that it's not so bad. It's not so bad.
I know the song, but I never got the name.
If you can give me the artist, I'll give it to you.
I have no idea.
No, it's not.
Can you say it
It's not
again?
Bruno Mars, right?
No.
Oh, well, it's not Bruno Mars. It's not so bad.
Definitely not.
You got me with that. It's not so bad. It's not so bad. But I only remember this part, and then
Sing it out, Micah. Sing it out.
it's not so bad. It's not so bad. But
I was hoping that would help me, but
I
it
can't.
hasn't.
I can't.
So the second chorus is basically the same. I'll go again. My tea's gone cold. I'm wondering why I got out of bed at all. The morning rain clouds up my window and I can't see it all. And even if I could, it'd all be grey. But your picture on my wall, it reminds me that it's not so bad. It's not so bad.
Oh, I've got it. It's
The next line should give it away.
Rah. It's Eminem, Stan. Have I got the wrong song? Yes.
You got the right song. It was totally Micah singing it for you too. He gave you the tune.
No, that did not help at all. Apologies, Micah. Yourself.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, now as you said Eminem, I was like, oh, of course.
Because the next line was him rapping and he goes, Slim.
Yes,
yeah.
oh,
I wrote you, but you still ain't calling. Yeah.
Yeah.
shit.
Anyways. All right. Next one. Hopefully.
Oh,
Hopefully.
I said I'm bad at it. I'm not
Yeah, I
underestimating.
know. It's all good. We'll see how you go. Here we go. I threw a wish in the well. Don't ask me. I'll never tell. I looked to you as it fell, and now you're in my way. I trade my soul for a wish, pennies and dimes for a kiss. I wasn't looking for this, but now you're in my way.
Damn it, I can't get the tune. Pennies and dimes for a kiss.
Shall I keep going?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Okay, hold on. Your stare was holden, ripped jeans, skin was showing.
Oh,
Hot night, wind was blowing. Where you think you're going, baby?
Rah. Call me maybe. Carly Rae Jepsen.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
I didn't have to name the artist. Did I?
All
It's
right.
because it's on your playlist, Cess.
Yeah, it is. I
haven't heard that
was
song
just
in
playing.
but
I knew it all along. No, I didn't.
All right. Cess has officially won this game, but I've got one more
Okay.
just for fun. Okay. Surely, this one's going to get you on the board. Are we ready? You should get it pretty quickly. I feel like I'm only going to say one line.
don't max up the pressure.
All right, here we go. Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy?
Rah. Oh, yep.
It's from Queen. Freddie Mercury, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yes.
Yeah, well done.
Oh,
Oh, thank God.
he got on the board.
With the first 2 words, is this a real? With
Yeah.
the first sentence, is it real life? I had it, but like, which song was it again?
Well
That's
done.
the one. Got on the board. Cess got both games. Congrats, Cess. You're officially in the lead.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
sorry.
you, Micah. Well played.
You definitely have a better music knowledge than I do.
It was a bit scratchy. I wasn't overly confident with that game.
Do you know who would have killed that? Shanks. I could see him vibing.
Yeah. Oh, I
every
know.
single time. He was like,
it
"Oh,
was
I've got it."
annoying me. It was annoying me because he was just smiling, going, "Yeah."
I
know
like wanted
this."
to answer myself. I was like, I know it.
Oh man, I'm glad I wasn't up against Shanks. On to the next part of the podcast. Mike, you can take a quick breather. This is a new one for our listeners. It's called Shanks Shout Out. So what we'd love people to do, and Micah, if you could share this to the Swiss Touch community as well, is obviously like and review our podcast, follow us on all the socials, which Kimmy works very, very hard at pumping out some awesome content there on our socials, Instagram, YouTube. I was going to say Twitter, but what I meant was TikTok and Facebook as well. So check those out. And what we're going to do is anyone that between now and the next podcast, if there's a comment or a review with a comment or something that just stands out on one of the social platforms, Shanks, whether that's a dig at one of us or if it's a positive comment or something really funny, Shanks is going to read that out on the podcast going forward. And one that I want him to cover today is a little bit of a stoush battle that he had to and fro with our last guest, Meng from Touch China, around some tries getting scored on people. Who was it? What was it exactly, Shanks? So I think you were trying to score on Meng, or not the other way around, something like that.
Yeah, I think
You sledged him in the last podcast, basically.
yeah, apparently I did sledge him, telling him I was gonna score on him. He reckons I didn't, but I told him exactly what happened. Just jumped over him basically and just stepped over him after I scored the try. Just your standard jumping over someone to score. But
Standard.
he didn't seem to buy it, but I'm pretty sure it happened.
Okay. Was that on film, Kimmy? Was that game recorded?
No.
No, damn it. Okay, we'll have to take your word, and Meng will have to take his word. It's yours against his, I guess, in a court of law. So on that point, anything going forward, if you have something to share or something funny, or if you'd like to, as I said, sledge one of us or leave a nice comment, it may get read out in the next podcast at Shanks Shout Out. So get involved. Back to our guest, though, for regular programming. Previous guest question for you, Micah. So we're going to step a couple of episodes back. So you didn't hear this one with Bianca she's from the Philippines, but she's also on the FIT board. This is probably for all of us, and I can't participate in this because I actually haven't seen the movie. But her question was, if you were to draft your starting 6 on the touch field from the Harry Potter characters, who would they be?
Hold on. You haven't seen the movie?
Yeah, I know. I have not. Shanks, most people have.
Yes.
Yeah. Mike, have you seen Harry Potter?
I've seen, but I can't name all the characters. Am I allowed to Google? Because I know the faces, but not the names.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, look, while you're doing that, I copped a lot of stick, and this was the same trip actually where I went to Switzerland. We went to whatever the freaking platform is. Is it in London? I don't know.
9
9
3/4.
3/4.
Okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
the tour group I was with went there, and I had no idea, and I didn't attend because it just would have been lost on me, and I copped so much stick on the bus. Yeah, haven't seen it, haven't read the books, so I have no idea.
The funny thing
Wow.
is, I watched all the movies, the rest of the movies after I came back, and I really wish I watched them before I went over because everything else would have made more sense and had more meaning. But yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, so I cannot participate in this next segment so
The
starting
question
six.
is, men's open or mixed
Mixed.
open?
Let's go mixed. Yeah. Any
Okay.
6 players.
Well, of course, Harry Potter and Hermione Granger. Draco Malfoy because he looks fit enough to play. Ron Weasley just looks like he can't catch a ball.
Ron's out.
Um,
Ron's not on my team.
Oliver Wood, that's one of the Quidditch guys. He's sporty enough. That makes 3. Need 2 more female.
I actually haven't watched Harry.
Lee Jordan and Terrace Hicks for the male ones, and Katie Bell maybe, and Susan Bones as female players. But
Any
you can
disagreement
only
from
take the junior ones because you can't take Dumbledore. So maybe you can also there's a Weasley sister, I think Ginny.
Yeah, there's
could
2 of them.
Yes,
Yeah.
there is.
Could
Ginny
also
Weasley.
take this as a female player.
What about Moaning Myrtle?
I was about to say her, but how can she catch a ball? It's just gonna fly through her, and would it count as a touch if she flies through someone?
Okay, hear me
That's a
out.
good
Hear me
point.
out. Hear me out for defense, right? Imagine if you're trying to set up a play and you've got Moaning Myrtle distracting you and making these ridiculous noises on the
She could do that from the sideline too.
She could, yes. She could just be your we'll put you on if we need you. You're just going to be like duty coaching staff, water girl. Maybe not the starting 6, but Moaning Myrtle. Ring about it. There aren't too many female.
There aren't. I struggled. I was about to put Snape on my team, but he's just too negative and too much caring for only one player. So
Do you reckon? What about the combo between if you had Draco Malfoy, Harry Potter, Voldemort, and Dumbledore? That's a powerhouse.
they wouldn't arrive at the pitch. They started fighting in the changing rooms.
That's just powerhouse. So the other one I was thinking of was Cedric, but that's purely because what's the name of the actor that plays him? He's also in the Twilight movies. Come on.
Yes, the one that Voldemort
Cedric
takes out.
Diggory. Yes, him.
Yep.
Oh my God, what's his name? Oh, Robert Pattinson. The
Yes,
reason
the
why is because you look at him and you just think like he should have won, but then Voldemort kills him. But also just I can see him as the vampire. Anyway, Cess is sitting here going, I have no idea who you're talking
Yeah,
about.
that's enough Harry Potter chat, you nerds. I hope that answers your question, B. I could not participate in that at all. So let's move on. Hopefully that's answered Bianca's question thoroughly. I cannot confirm.
I would just want to add one more player to that. What about Dobby?
Oh, useless though. He's got no mongrel and he's got no spine. Like,
well, he could be a good water carrier.
Yeah, but the dude's got no resilience.
2 more questions for him. Moving on. 2 more questions for you, Micah, for the podcast. So we know what the last one is. I thought I'd throw in another food-based one for you, not only just for you, but our guests going forward that we can all answer. So because we're talking to someone from Switzerland, well known for their chocolate. We mentioned it before with Toblerone and Lindt. Question for you and for all of us: your favorite chocolate or chocolate bar of choice?
Any milk chocolate with hazelnuts.
You mentioned, Michael, I have to point this one out. If your preference for the 2 that I gave you to pick Toblerone and Lindt, you picked Toblerone, but you said your choice would actually be, is it Lederach?
Lederach, yes.
Yes. Describe that
that's
for
just
us.
The best chocolate in the world.
they sell they don't sell like the normal ones you get in a normal shop. They have their own stores, and it's called Bruchschokolade, where you have like half a square meter of chocolate with different flavors and ingredients, and then they break it off for you, and you can buy them like you would do meat at a butcher, and that's really high quality. And I think that's the best one you can buy in Switzerland, because you can also combine it, and it's always fresh chocolate. It's not like they're stacked and somewhere in a warehouse. They're freshly made and shipped to these stores.
I would liken it, guys, to Hague's.
Okay.
It does have that sort of
Yeah,
similar vibe. Yeah.
Yeah.
So fun fact, do you know Abro?
Me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Abro, I actually stayed with Abro in Zurich when I was there last year. He comes over to Sydney every year for State Cup, and he joins the club that I'm a part of, West's Touch. And every time he comes, he brings us a bag of that chocolate. And
From
it's
Leather.
yeah.
Oh,
And
that's
like,
awesome.
it's an individually packed little piece of chocolate. And there was one year that he brought it these Christmas chocolates, and I didn't even bother looking at the ingredients on the back. I just like dug in, and straight away I was like, so I'm allergic to nuts, right? So then rookie error, I looked on the back, and it's all in Swiss, but I could see hazelnuts, and I'm like,
Yes, hazelnut.
that looks like hazelnut to me. I just spat it out, and I was like, so didn't swallow anything. I'm not like completely sensitive like some people unfortunately are, but yeah, all I could see was hazelnuts. Now I know that hazelnuts is hazelnut.
So, well, Kimmy, you'll have to bring Shanks and I some of that chocolate if you get another, especially if it's got hazelnuts in it.
It doesn't last. That it just gets, everyone devours it. It's so good. But yes, if I do have leftovers.
Yes, thank you. So, Micah, back to the original question. Your chocolate bar of choice?
I would go with Snickers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Times two.
I'm a big-
That's my choice.
Yep. Me
Yeah.
too.
Oh, there you go.
That's
Kimmy,
my go-to one.
Obviously, you can't. Yeah.
No, a peanut is not a nut. It is a legume. We're learning something new every day.
So you can have Snickers. I
Yeah.
wouldn't have thought. I probably would have not bought you
Wow,
a
I
Snickers if
wouldn't-
we. Yeah.
No.
Would you have?
I wouldn't have
No.
either. No. Nothing.
It contains nuts, right?
Yeah, a peanut's not a nut.
Right. Okay. So what are you choosing? Are you choosing a Snickers?
Yeah. Snickers is my, like, if I was just a little chocolate bar, it's the first one that I'll buy is a Snickers.
There you go. 4 from 4. So for those listening, the official Touch and Rice podcast chocolate bar of choice is a Snickers. And to our last question, Micah, that we ask all of our guests, what is your favorite dish to have with rice?
Oh, that's a good question. I would like to go with fried rice and some roast chicken.
Nice and simple. I like it. We haven't had fried rice
Choice.
as an answer yet either. So, Micah, from Swiss Touch, thank you very much for giving up your time and joining us on the podcast. We really appreciate it. We wish you all the best in the development, and we hope to see you around the Touch grounds at some stage and meet you in person. That'd be fantastic. Thank you to Tom for putting us in touch. And for everyone else in the Touch community, we'll see you on the 7.
Can't wait.
Thank you very much for having me, and I now have a new podcast to listen to when I run half. Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to the Touch and Rice podcast. Please join us on all our socials, including Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Touch and Rice Podcast.